Greetings YouTube. In this video we are going to be upgrading these 5 IHC Heavyweight Passenger Cars that I picked up at a train show a couple months ago. There are about 6 things we're going to address here. The couplers, wheels, interior, lighting kit, the weight, and we will be adding grab irons here to all these little holes, where all these little holes are. So let me first just temper your enthusiasm a little bit here. These are not the highest quality products. So no matter what we do to them, they're not going to be on the cover of Model Railroader. I mean, this is just, I got these, they were $25 for all of them. I just thought it would be a fun process to work on. So they're not going to be great, but we're going to make them way better. Okay, so one of the first things you're going to want to do is address the couplers. Now, I got lucky when I got these had already been upgraded to the KD conversions, but I will just kind of give you a quick run through of how that system works. The directions that come with them are really good, so that should be all you need. Okay, so basically you'll be removing the horn hook coupler that just kind of snaps in here, and I think there's a little bit of modification you have to do. Read the directions and see. And then basically you drill a little hole, and this screw right here, you can adjust how far in and out the coupler goes, therefore how close it is to the next car. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look into are the wheels on the trucks. So these plastic wheels have just got to go, and you just pull these apart like such, and they pop out. I believe these are already, some of these maybe are already upgraded. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the ones that come with them are all plastic. They don't have the metal, but we're going to be getting rid of those too. Another upgrade that's been done, these are held on from the factory by a peg right here, and somebody has already replaced these out with the screw. I strongly recommend that. These are, when with the peg in there, these are really wobbly, and the cars will wobble going down the road. So replace this with a screw. And the only thing I can say about that is be very careful that you don't, I mean, you can thread the, you don't need to, well, maybe it would help if you did tap it, but if you don't want to tap it, you can typically just thread the metal screw into the plastic. The key is you want to get this straight up and down. You don't want to get that screw crooked, because if you do, the truck will sit crooked. And I like to have a screw like this that has a huge head on it, because it kind of holds the truck from wobbling around. That's just my preference. I don't know, I didn't do this, but yeah. So I will be replacing these with these IHC 33-inch axles. Now normally you would use 36-inch for a passenger train, but these trucks, the 36-inch wheels don't fit in here. They're designed for 33, so that's what we're going to be going with. Okay, so these axles have one side is insulated, one side is plastic, and one side is not. You want to have all the insulated ones on one side on here, and then all the insulated on the other side over here, so it picks up power properly. So I'll go ahead and clip those in. Okay, so if you notice here, these spin freely. Somebody has already modified these trucks. If you have one of these that hasn't been modified, you will need this guy, this truck tuner, and I'll show you how you use it. So basically what you do is put this in where the axle would go. And then spin it to clean out the bearings there. Yep, fortunately for me, that's already been done. Now, while I'm working on the trucks, I'm going to go ahead and wire this up for the lighting kit we're going to do later. Now, the way I do this is I take a little thin piece of wire and I wrap it around each axle and then run it into the car. To get that thin wire, this is just some 20 gauge stranded wire here, and I'm going to take, I don't know, 3-4 inches, and I'm going to strip the insulation off of it. So with the insulation stripped back, then you get individual pieces of super thin wire, and then I use each one of these. Okay, so here I have a little piece of wire wrapped around each axle, and I drilled a tiny hole in the floor of the car, and it runs through and it comes out on the side. So this wire is so thin it doesn't affect the movement of the trucks at all, and you don't want to wrap it too tight that these don't spin, but I mean, it does need to make contact, so you kind of have to play around with that a little bit and get just the right amount of tension on it. So that should do it for the trucks. Okay, so next up we're going to work on the lighting board. To do that, you need to take the top off. Actually goes like this. And I should have probably shown this earlier. There are 6 tabs. Here, here, and here and here. You just need to pry those in, and then the roof, the whole top, and the glass all comes out at one. So for the lighting, I'm going to be using this circuit board. I designed this. You can get these from OSH Park. Not populated. You just get the board and then you have to put in the components, which are pretty simple. It's just 4 diodes down here at this end, LEDs and a resistor wherever you want. There's multiple spots for LEDs, and then you need a capacitor too for the keep alive. I did LEDs here and here because they line up with the windows. So this, I have a separate video on this board. I will link this up above, up here somewhere. And also there's a QR code on here. I don't know if I can zoom in enough. You can see that. That'll also go to the video. Nah, you probably can't read that. I'm using some double-sided foam deals here to mount the circuit board up to the top. Stick one on there. Okay, before I get much more carried away, I like to test that everything works. So let's got power here. Yep. Now I did not do an interior for the baggage car. There really isn't much you could see through the windows, and I just got kind of lazy on it. So we're going to skip right on to the weight. Okay, so here I've moved on to the combine car. Everything else, the wiring and the wheels and stuff are exactly the same, so I didn't bother showing that again. I did on this one, however. The only difference is I printed a just small interior here to go in front of where the windows are. I figure this is like the crew lounge where they can chill out when they're off on break or whatever. So that just fits in here like that, and as you can see, you can kind of see it in through the windows, and then the top should hopefully just go back on. Okay, so I did get the top put back on. I had a little bit of a hassle because for some reason the glass along the side was warped in, and the little tab wasn't wanting to come through the hole right here, and I had to use a screwdriver to kind of like get down in there and get the tab lined up right. So yeah, that seems to be... Here we are with the interior on the other cars. This one, I guess, is a coach. It doesn't really say what it is, but I don't know. I just made some chairs and some bathrooms that goes in here. And this one is the observation car. Again, just chairs and a couch. I also wanted to mention the fact that I have airbrushed the tops of the gray on here. I just figure that looks a little better. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get these all put back together. Here they are fitted out with people. Okay, so the NMRA standard is 1 ounce plus half an ounce for every inch that the car is long. So we're at about 4.2 right now. And this car is about 9.5 inches long. Let's go 10 inches long, so another 5, so it should be 6 ounces. So I'm gonna want to add about 1.5 ounces to this. And to do that, I will be using these. These are for balancing wheels for your car. You can get these at the parts store. They're super cheap, probably online too. So they're half an ounce each. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab 3 of these. And then I'm gonna stick those just in the, I think I'm gonna put, let's see, what would be the best way to do this? Okay, so this is gonna get us right about to 6 ounces where I wanna be. And so there we go, 6 ounces, just what we want. This car feels significantly more substantial with that weight in there. This seems like more of a quality product. So the very last thing I want to look at is adding these grabs here. There are already holes drilled for them, so I figure go ahead and put them in. Now I am using, when I made up the circuit boards, I saved the clippings here, and I'm going to be using those for just bending these up and using them for the grab irons. I see one of them has already come loose. Didn't get it glued well enough. So I bent up some of these to the right size, and now I will I'll use a little bit of super glue here. To fit them in place. All right, there we go. don't think I'm going to paint them or anything. I think I'm just going to leave them the color they are. Well, here they are all sitting on the bench. Mostly done. Before we go downstairs and see what they look like on the track, I kind of wanted to give an update on what my plans are for videos coming up. The very next video I'll drop will probably be a layout update. I have gotten a decent amount done, so I'll have some stuff to show you there. And then as far as stuff that's on the workbench here, the grocery store, which I have been promising since last summer, it eventually is going to get done. This was something I started and was working on at the apartment before I moved, and I kind of just, as I was getting ready to move, packed it all up, put it in a box, and it's just a few days ago I got it out. So I really need to go through and figure out where I was and finish it up. I think it's probably, I don't know, 80-90% done. This is the one here that this is kind of the prototype, and then I've been printing enough pieces for another one so I can show you guys how it goes together. And then over here I have an ABBA set of Athearn shells. Those are all getting Stewart drives, decoders, lights, the works. But before either of these two, I am planning to do a 1,000 subscribers thank you giveaway where we will be working on this guy. This is a GP38-2. It's the Burlington Northern Fallen Flags. Sorry, I can't zoom in on that very well. It's got all the lines that made Burlington Northern. And the plan for this is, there's something wrong with this guy. I cannot remember what it is, but I'll be working on this in the video, and then I will give it away to somebody. I'll have a drawing. So that is the plan. Now let's go downstairs and check these out.